so glad to be here. Thank you for having us here, and thank you, Dana, for the arm twist that put both of us in this seat.
Complete trickery. I had no idea what I was saying.
No, we didn't. But hold on.
It's only because we love her.
Kindness. I brought you flowers for sitting next to me.
Gosh.
What in the world? Oh, I thought they were pretty.
I brought you this book. You
Oh,
should study
awesome.
it. It's so good.
That's what I understand. I'm like all in on that.
Well, should I introduce you then, and then do you want to introduce me? Or do you want me to introduce myself?
You introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Anna Van Dyke. I have these gorgeous flowers that I don't want to drop them. My husband and I go to the downtown campus. I actually grew up in Tyler, going to the South Campus. Met my man at A&M. We lived in Longview, and then we came back and we decided to be downtown people. And we love both, but we've landed downtown. We have Laurel, who is 2.5, and Vincent, who's 3 months old. So, yay, parenting. I'm glad I'm teaching this chapter. I've had so many years to practice. So, like the trench time, I'm in the trenches. And actually, I'm really proud that I'm here right now. Like, I brushed my teeth. So, anyway, I thought it would be suiting to start with a few little jokes, or they're kind of jokes. All right? It's like you know you're a hillbilly when you know you're a mom in the trenches when you keep deodorant in your car all the time, right? Have we been there? The first place you look for clean laundry is on the laundry couch, right? It never gets folded and put, right? You can't remember whether or not your husband has facial hair. Sometimes I'm like, oh, how long did that take to grow a beard? It grows real quick, I noticed right away. And the last category is just poop, but... So yesterday, my daughter, we're potty training right now, and I asked her, Laura, do you need to go potty? And she looked at me and she goes, it's on its way. like a little psychopath. Like, you'll never know. I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, we talk a lot. We deal with a lot of poop, and it really is a huge part of my days. So anyway, so I thought I would just sum up what Nancy talked about in her chapter and then just do a few little takeaways. But obviously, I don't have a whole lot of seasoned information to offer you. We can get in big arguments about spanking, and I don't think that's what this is about at all. So, the big picture that she talked about in this chapter, and she kind of went in she did like a few little circles of the same cycle of thinking of being a mom is really hard, right? And they're little, and it's trying, but what a blessing it is, and oh, what a gift our children, and then look to Jesus, basically. And she kind of did that in a few little circles, and so she talks about how being a mom is a full-time ministry, right? If you're a mom, do you realize you're called to full-time ministry? That's your ministry. It was funny, I was thinking, I don't know if it was like a campus-wide thing when they did the Living Alternatives 4th of July thing. They had the volunteer day. I don't know, did they talk about that at South Campus? And I really wanted to do it, but I have young kids, and I just thought to myself, I'm already doing a ministry at home. I can't just, and that doesn't mean I couldn't get a babysitter and go do it, but it's like, no, I don't pack up and go to Africa. Really, that's what I'm doing every day with these little kids. It's a full-time ministry. It's the most important work. It's a gift. She talks about how our culture devalues motherhood a lot, which I think they totally do. It kind of seems more like a bother, or this process of slowly getting your identity stripped away and becoming really like ugly, and then your body gets which I mean maybe, but and then she talks about how the Lord provides helpers for us. The Lord provides older women, and she talks a little bit about it. I call them sister wives, which is probably not what I should call them. But those friends in the trenches, those people that sit on your couch with the dirty laundry, they change your kids' diapers. I'm sorry, I have no other words for them. She talks about Perez, who is the son of Judah, who had him with his daughter-in-law. Do we know that story? Real down and dirty, and just talking about how God is so sovereign, and he really makes messy situations beautiful, because now, look, Perez is in the line of Jesus, right? You can read down into that line of Jesus. So, in the shadow of the cross, we see what an incredible gift it is to be refined through the process of raising children. A lot of times, we get down in the trenches and we forget. I often don't look above 3 feet. And actually people say, I saw you in that grocery store. Like, I guess you're taller than what I'm normally looking at, you know, and I kind of am happy for them that they didn't stop and say hi, because then they'd be associated with the lady carrying the baby with the toddler's ankle, you know, walking out the door. But anyway, we forget what a gift it is to be refined through parenting. You know, we get married and we realize, okay, die to yourself, right? Sometimes you have to compromise. And then you have kids and you realize, wow, my opinion really doesn't matter at all. I have no preferences anymore. So I'm trying to think, did she say anything else in that chapter specifically that spoke to you? It was pretty basic stuff. It talks about Titus, and that's what we're going to get to, the sum up where it's talking about, it centers around the verse of older women teach younger women to love their wives and husbands, or I mean your children and your husbands. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Did anything else?
The one I know I underlined when I read it about it's not what you think it's going to be. And that's a really loose paraphrase. You know, we all have kids, and whoever thought we'd have a laundry couch?
No.
Not me. I mean, all those things that you think in your head, this grand vision, and then God has such other better plans than you can ask or imagine. And when you're going through, looking back, because now I'm kind of on the other end of this, you know, all the bumps and lumps and everything, at the time I would be like, oh, what is this? And now I look back and, you know, wouldn't trade him, because that's how he built our family together. That's how he knit us together in the Lord, by those difficulties. So yeah, did it look like what we thought? No.
Even
but
the kid that shows up, you know, yeah. the kid that the Lord gives you, you're like, wow, that's a personality trait I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, where'd that come from? Yeah. And then you both point at each other.
Seriously, no. Well, we know where it comes from. Anyway, so she talks about, you know, older women teach younger women to love your children and your husbands, which I feel like it sounds silly, but it's so true. Like, I hang out with Julie, and she has some really great tips how to love your children and husband better. Like, you don't think about it when you're in the trenches. I'm telling you, you don't look up. You don't think about being very loving. But it also talks about Hebrews 10:24-25, which I love. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. This sisterhood that we can have as moms is one of the greatest gifts, I think, that the Lord gives us as we're deep down in these trenches. But if you don't have that, which I feel like I'm the only young mom here, it's just completely invaluable. And so something I was also thinking, when we talk about being moms, I think the first thing we talk about is the negative stuff. And I think our culture is so negative towards moms, which I talked about when she was summing it up. And I don't think we really need to communicate that. I think that's pretty well communicated to people. I think if we instead focused on how awesome kids are, how wonderful they are. I mean, really, it's if 3/4 of your day is horrible, I'm telling you, there's 1/4 of magic in there, where your children are learning, where you're learning from them. Even when you're down thinking, Lord, this ungrateful heart, and the Lord turns around and speaks to you and goes, yep, Anna, that ungrateful heart. Don't you love her anyway? It hurts, doesn't it, when they're not grateful? You know, Lord, this disobedience, why can't she listen? How does she not understand that I'm giving her these instructions to keep her safe? That's pretty frustrating, isn't it, Anna? You know, don't you hate it when that happens? So anyway, the whole time I was reading this, and I'm a big picture person, if you can't tell. I don't have any, a lot of like stories laced around it. Really, it's all about the gospel. And I think about that psalm, turn your eyes upon Jesus, and I actually sometimes I sing it like a crazy person in my car when but you think, oh soul, are you burdened and weary, right? And it talks about turning your eyes upon Jesus, and the problems of the world grow dim, right, in the light of his glory and grace. And I think even probably in parenting adult children, which I know nothing about, and I look forward to hearing a lot about that in about 18, 15 years. that's really the end of the story, right? Is how do I be a better mom? Well, turn your eyes upon Jesus. Are you putting him first? If you learn more about Jesus, if you become more like Jesus, if you sit in the shadow of his cross, then you're going to show more grace. You're going to be a better mom. So, no big parenting tips to share, except, gosh, we can't do it without the Lord, and what a gift it is to have people like Julie, who came over last Wednesday and got completely covered in spit up.
It was a badge of honor.
You can't,
I was so proud.
You can't say I didn't warn her. Vincent only spits up on people he really trusts.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He immediately felt that bond and just felt comfortable doing it.
You know, Art was jealous. I was like, look, this is so awesome. And Art was like, when did you get to go do that?
I smell like Anna now.
Yeah, I fit in the house. I'm in the tribe.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Anyway, so I don't know. Do you have anything else to share about parenting? Anything else to offer?
No, just be kind. Just be kind. I'll be kind.
Okay, so are you going to introduce
Is that
yourself?
my segue?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Julie Riley. My husband Art and I have been attending Bethel Downtown since the second Sunday it started downtown. We responded to a postcard in the mail, so yes, mass marketing does work. It's us. We missed the first week because it was Easter and we had family plans. We love being in the center of the city. We love being able to support the Arts Initiative and all the other downtown activities. We love being a part of it. My husband loves the Foundry and is often there drinking coffee and having committee meetings. So that's the code for men are meeting down at the Foundry. I have two sons, Art Jr. and Patrick, who are both in their 20s. The three Riley men are engineers, so I am surrounded by logical and analytic thought. But thanks be to God, he's good. He's brought Mallory, Patrick's fiance, to join our family. So yes, I finally have a girl. But she's an engineer, so I'm still outnumbered on that front. Yeah, we were all in Houston together, and we're all standing there, and there was something built, a fountain or something, and they all walk over to it, and I'm standing there going, mm-hmm. It's a really lovely fountain, but I don't really care how it works. Big Art and I became Christians when we were 29 years old. I am in awe seeing young women in settings like this and around me who have a jump start into the adult adventure with the Lord. Art and I started Ground Zero, learning Bible stories along with our boys. I still don't know the Zacchaeus song or the Fruit of the Spirit song, and I have no idea what flannel graph boards are, but I do know what it's like to live without the Lord, and I'm not ever going back. As I open chapter 14, Instruments of Grace, it's actually about kindness, which to me, I always think of, we laughed about Captain Obvious, you gotta be kind. Friends, we live in a world that is out of practice being kind. Everything is done quickly with a send button. The most kindness many of us exercise during the day is we're scrolling through Facebook and we see Aunt Edna posted a crocheted square shawl, on Facebook, and we liked it. Yeah. The chapter starts with a great reminder as God is not only interested in what we do, but also how we do it. What are our motives and where is our heart? The author takes us back to the idea of a self-controlled mind. And I've practiced saying the Greek for it, and it's just not a good translation. We are called to be intentional with kindness. Our goal is to show others the goodness of Christ, a practical, personal, you matter to me basis. And if your baby throws up all down me, all right, I'm smiling.
She rolls
I'm
with it, y'all.
happy to be here. Kindness it's a fruit of the Spirit. In Galatians, kindness is one of the fruits you sing of. But we need to exercise those muscles. We have to think about being kind to others, and the Lord provides plenty of opportunities for this. When we met and sat together last week, and we both laughed about the Bible story in the chapter, Mary and Martha.
That poor Martha.
I know. We decided we are both Marthas. Yes. And how in the world do you have church potluck lunches if you don't have Marthas around? I mean, you know. But then we also decide we love our Mary friends.
Yes.
But somewhere in the middle, there's a balance. We need a little Martha and we need a lot of Mary, but we need to have a balance, so we have both. But when I read it, I was like, oh, poor Martha, here we go again. You're just going to get it.
I'm mad at Mary too. I mean, come on.
We had a whole venting session on
Jesus is in your house. Pick up the dishes. If we work together, it'd be done in 5 minutes, Mary.
Yeah,
5
we
minutes.
could both sit there. So, yeah. So
Sorry, we're still working through it.
Yeah. We were the support group.
Yes.
So he provides opportunities, and he provides opportunities at home. You know, at home, he gets us where it hurts. Daily, we have opportunities to be kind in our attitude, action, and words. And yes, it takes effort. This morning, it's been a little stressful week. I was tired. I hadn't had my yummy porch culture pour-over coffee. And I was very sharp with my sweet husband. Mid snarkiness, though, I stopped myself, apologized, and gave him a big hug because that's just not the way to start the day. Then I finished packing his little lunch, and we got his Yeti coffee cup filled and got him all organized for the day and sent him off with a kiss. I love that man, but sometimes it's easy to have an attitude. And that's where I have to remind myself to do those acts, those words of kindness and the actions of kindness. Mm-hmm. I agree with the author when she writes that kind hearts and deeds oil our relationships and draw our hearts to others. Thank you, Lord, for humbling me when I need to show my husband the kindness that the Lord gave me rather than exasperation. He also expects us to show kindness beyond. That's the scary part. Opportunities for kindness exist with relationships and can provide a rich source of blessing that build each other up and keep us all going. It's mutual care and consideration. We are all busy, but we can always spare a smile or a hug. I mean, it's just looking around you. There are people in our circle, like at church or in your life group or at your office, or there are people around you that need your kindness. And it might not be a lot. It might just be, you look really great in your outfit today.
Thanks.
I really like it.
I was kind of nervous.
I know. We were trying to figure out what to wear.
We're fine, y'all. We're fine.
The other is she identifies the poor and the needy. And God will bring people into our realm that need attention. And we need to be sensitive and show kindness. Our borders of kindness may reach beyond our comfort zone or our normal circle of relationships. But after all, Jesus didn't call us to live safe and insulated. He called us to be out in the world. You know, we lived in Austin for years, and the homeless population is very much in your face when you live in Austin. They are on the street corner. They are everywhere you go. And dealing with that with your children and talking to them about, I can't stop and give $10 to every homeless man. But there were things we did do, and we did carry water bottles, and we did carry snacks that we could hand snack bags out. We did things trying to exhibit kindness, but also saying that sometimes when the same person is there every day and the snack you gave them, when you come back by, it's still left on the curb because really they were seeking something other than the food they asked for. You know, you're still showing kindness. Our enemies, Don't you ever just want to look at someone and go, just stop it? Really?
That's what you say?
There are times when in my head I want to stomp my foot and say,
just stop it.
Stop it.
Ouch.
Really? You don't have to be unkind. Do good to those who would do us harm. All I could think of is try saying that to a teenager who's being bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were the teenager and your mom was like, well, we're going to pray for that person and we're going to be kind to them.
Mm-hmm.
And as a mother, I'm going, please buy into this. Get into a fight. God loves you. It's that the thought of it still makes my stomach hurt. But I do pray for those around me who I may qualify as an enemy. An enemy sounds hard, but people who maybe you're disagreeing with, or maybe you feel intimidated, or there's an issue with, but there's always a place for a smile and a kind greeting. There's always a place to say, how's your family? How are you? How's your summer? There's always a place for that. I don't have to be their best friend, but I can still be kind and lovely. God's kindness to us is not based on our worthiness, and we need to remember that. So I made myself a little challenge, and I'll let you join in the fun. Aren't you excited? See the next week. See where God provides you opportunities, maybe at home, maybe beyond, at church, at work. Maybe he does bring someone who has needs around you. And maybe he does, put an enemy around you that you need to pray for and be kind to. And how else can you sum it up? Ephesians 4:32. Be kind to one another.
Amen.
And that's all I got.